All right. So, one of my subscribers and fellow J letter at the front of your name, Jesse. Jesse did it. Jesse recommended this video. I guess it was played on Jimmy Doors too. Another J. I'm sitting next to James. Jello Brick Road. See that? Regardless, oh, that's where I'm remembering this from. Like Jimmy did play this. All right. This is fucking interesting. This is super interesting because it's like I know I talk about a lot of stuff, but it's hard. Sometimes it can seem it feels difficult for me to tie them all together. To tie in things like philosophy and psychology and tie them into the realm of politics, which seems to be where the crowd is, to be honest. And this is kind of like them meeting together, right? Someone who's an academic with this stuff and someone who's going through, you know, going through the shit with the fucking vaccine mandates. What's brilliant, like the fact that she's an ethics professor, but also stands against an experimental vaccine, right? That's the word she puts on it. I would agree, huh? Oh, someone got him. Sniped. So yeah, that's what makes this interesting. Is that she's like a perfect storm, if you will, and then right? I don't know. It makes me think about how magical life is in a way. That not only is it all those things, but also the courage. Something within her has the courage to get on camera and tell everybody about it. Like all these different things all forming together to create this moment. And we're gonna watch it. Don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to Devon's Journey to Recovery, to helping victims of Africom. I'm about to sneeze. No, I'm not. Cohen Daly, the Australian boy. Also, support some content creators. Stevie, aka Redneck Economics. Sleepy J, buy him a coffee. And also, the snail, Ali Alexandra. Ali Alexandra. All links are in the description box. Yes. With all that said, give this video... Oh, man. Wrong part. Alright, let's watch this shit. I'm going to turn subtitles. Are they already there?
My name is Julie Panesi, and this message is about mandatory vaccinations.
All right, they're already there.
I am a professor of ethics at Huron College at the University of Western Ontario. It's one of the largest universities in Canada. Today, I'm going to teach you a short lesson on the universally accepted ethics of coercing people into medical procedures. I'll be the example. My employer has...
This is the stuff I'm telling you, this is perfect. This is the shit I talk about. The skin in the game argument. To where, like, when I talk about philosophy or psychology, they're not meant to be mental masturbation somewhere. This is useful for what she's about to fucking do. But here we go.
Just mandated that I must get a vaccine.
She's fucking armed with something let's be real, a lot of people are not armed with. But we'll see if it's more of an academic thing or if it seems to me it smells more like oh, I actually have care for these topics. Even if her vernacular is like academic. All right, here we go.
For COVID-19. Use that word right?
I think
if I want to keep working at my job as a professor, I have to take this vaccine. Here's my conundrum. My school employs me to be an authority on the subject of ethics. I hold a PhD in ethics and ancient philosophy. And I'm here to tell you it's ethically wrong to coerce someone to take a vaccine. If it happens to you, you don't have to do it. If you don't want a COVID vaccine, don't take one. End of discussion. It's your own business. But that is not the approach of the University of Western Ontario, which has suddenly required that I be vaccinated immediately or not report for work. So with the school year beginning in a few days, I am facing imminent dismissal after 20 years on the job. Because I will not submit to having an experimental vaccine injected into my body. I've had plenty of vaccines in my life, but I've never been forced to take one. It's always been my choice. I don't work in a high-risk environment. I'm not a doctor in an emergency room. I'm a teacher. I'm a university professor. My job is to teach students how to think critically, to ask questions that might expose a false argument. Questions like, says who? Who is the authority giving this order? Should I trust them with control over my body? As a professor, I don't have to watch the news to find out if the COVID vaccines are safe. I read medical journals, and I consult my colleagues who are professors of science and medicine. I've learned from doctors that there are serious questions about how safe these vaccines really are. There are questions about how well they work. Nobody's promising that I won't get COVID or transmit COVID if I get the vaccine.
Okay, so just to bring us up, because she mentioned it earlier, but then she went further into something else. The ability to ask questions, right? She's talking about the ability to think critically, right? This is why I talk about this stuff being important, because then it's like, oh, there's a skill to it too. It's not just like, oh, I just go against whatever is that. Whatever's mainstream, CNN said it, I'm against it. It takes no critical thinking skills. The actual skill of critical thinking, if you are armed with something like that, other than like her having access to all these doctors or whoever the fuck, or even being like, you know, in an academic setting in the first place, to where you can go to libraries and read all these fucking books or whatever, or even access to the internet, right? Some people, whatever, they're struggling, their internet bill isn't paid, whatever, right? A whole bunch of things can happen. But everyone can do that shit. Everyone could be armed with that. The skill of critical thinking goes a long way, and it's universal. It's all topics. Any fucking thing you could think of. Critical thinking, as far as like how it's being defined in this context, it can go anywhere. I don't have to know shit about whatever thing, but I can ask questions about it. And I can use those logical skills. Be like, does that make sense? It doesn't really add up to me. Can you explain it so that it does add up to me? And then if you always have a fail-safe. Like, oh, is this guy lying to me? I'm telling you, bro. This shit is universal. It goes everywhere. And it's like a weapon in a way. A real weapon, a real metaphysical weapon. And also the other thing I advocate for is someone doing it to themselves. Question existence until the questions are solved. Is that Jay-Z? What? Everyone keeps telling me all he knows is hoes and drugs and guns. And materialism. In a song called Heaven. Alright, let's continue here. So yeah. Obviously, like, right, she has access to, like, directly speaking to, like, scientists and shit like that. And doctors. But, that critical thinking skill, that shit. Worldwide, man. Universe-wide. Beyond the universe. If there's an afterlife, you're armed if you have that shit with you. Good luck. Alright, here we go.
But ultimately, none of that matters to me. Because I'm a professor of ethics, and I'm a Canadian.
Okay, lady, you can't just... Nah. We make fun of Canadians here. So. You make fun of those lessers, you know, north of the border. Here we go.
Nobody's promising that I won't get COVID or transmit COVID if I get the vaccine. But ultimately, none of that matters to me. Because I'm a professor of ethics, and I'm a Canadian. I'm entitled to make choices about what does and does not enter my body, regardless of my reasons. If I'm allowed.
So she did it one better. She said what I was basically just aiming at right there. Where I'm like, oh, even if you don't have access to this or that or this type, you could still use your critical thinking skills. Like, hey, you still can't just force something on me. Pause. Right? I don't. Even if I'm a dipshit in regards to the vaccine, like know nothing about it, right? If I'm just a dumbass who's just like, I don't like the fucking thing. Why? Why not? I just don't fucking like it. I don't know anything about it. I don't like it. That should be good enough. And if you have the critical thinking skills, you can make that argument quite sound. But usually people will end up they'll try and intimidate that type of mentality. Intimidation doesn't always mean like, yeah, I got a gun. You better do what I say. Intimidation could be like, you fucking idiot. I'll scare you. I'll scare your ego into trying to choose my side. Right, Graham? Just saying. All right, here we go.
And I'm a Canadian. I'm entitled to make choices about what does and does not enter my body, regardless of my reasons. If I'm allowed back into my university, it's my job to teach my students
a punk
that
bitch,
this
Jesse.
is wrong.
It works.
I'm hired to teach them that it is ethically wrong to impose an experimental medical procedure as a condition of employment. This is my first and potentially my last lesson of the year.
Okay, she was crying.
Ethics 101. In the spirit of Socrates, who was executed for asking questions, this lesson will consist of only one question. The answer is multiple choice. Please listen carefully. When a person has done the same job to the satisfaction of her employer for 20 years, is it right or is it wrong to suddenly demand that they submit to an unnecessary medical procedure in order to keep their job? In this case, the procedure is an injection of a substance that has not been fully tested for safety. It has not yet been shown to be effective. It is designed to prevent an illness that poses little threat to the employee. The employee is not allowed to ask questions. She may only submit to the procedure or be fired. To my first-year students, is this right or is this wrong? I already know the answer.
Amazing. My OCD is going off because it's like a lot of room there I can fish around with. But as far as her scenario goes, I mean, I would say she's correct. I can't say I know she's correct, but if I had to guess, and even in the fine letters, right, in the fine lines in the writing about the vaccine itself and all that shit in Canada, and even the people, her bosses, even their understanding of it would resemble something like what she just said. If I had to guess, I'm very sure about that in our country. But as far as her country, I'm pretty sure I'm guessing it would probably be the same thing, where this vaccine doesn't stop the spread of it. It's not like a straight up cure. Like it just kills the fucking thing, and that's it. It's over with. You could still spread it, which would require you to do testing still because asymptomatic spreading of it, right? Vaccine or not. So if that's all the case, I'm sure that's the way it is on paper in her country and with her school, who's going to follow the country's narrative or line of thinking. She's 2,000,000% correct. Like, that's not a choice. It's sorry, Kyle. That's not a choice. It's a choice, but it's not a choice. Right? Do this job you've been doing forever. That sounds like you enjoy. If I had to guess, I think she enjoys her job, talking with students, and she's very serious about it, which is awesome. Like, no, it's not. Well, then just get another job. Go somewhere else that care if you have the vaccine or not. Kyle. I think this is more of a. Oh, and Ben Shapiro about the. Yeah, just leave, move. Hey, listen, if the climate change happens and a tide rolls up on the shores and destroys your house, just move. Someone like tombstone pile drive that little. Oh. Like, now fuck it, do the Owen Hart. Do the Owen Hart one. What kind of Owen Hart pile driver? Whatever the fuck that was. The shit he did to Austin. Yeah. Fuck that shit. So yes. Now I know there's a lot of, information about this stuff. For sure. But take this lady into consideration of like, hey, this is why this is just wrong. Like, I can, instead of just say it's wrong because it's wrong, like really lay out how this is incorrect on a moral level. That's essentially the angle she's going with. I think there's an argument there. I know there's an argument there. For me, at least. I think that needs to be in tandem with your social argument of, hey, they didn't test this out, they didn't do this, blah, blah, blah. And here's why we can't just go forward with this. Right? Instead of, like, you don't want to just be taking for granted that it's bad because it's bad. Like, you can actually explain, like, hey, what do you think of it? Like, I'm going to lay this moral scenario out. What do you think about it? Talk about this. And no, that's not mental. It's as much mental masturbation as it is sharing information about the vaccine. I don't know why that's so low. I don't know why morality and philosophy and psychology are looked down upon in regards to stuff like that. Yeah, you got murked. I think so. Just follow me. Right. I don't need to show why it's right. I need to look like I'm right. Both morally and information. I need the veneer of it. I need the mask of it. I need the costume of it. Like, oh, you're a politician. All right, let's continue. Unless it ends right there, I guess.
That was amazing, Julie.
She was crying. I'm sorry. She's beautiful, okay? And an ethics teacher. Awesome. All right. So, obviously, who the fuck is that monster? So yeah. Like, my point in going over this, I'm sure Jimmy Dore went through a completely different angle in regards to like his perspective on this video. My perspective is like, wow, there's so much value in being able to break a scenario down and show them like, hey guys, does that really make fucking sense to you? Like, come on, think about that. Does that really make sense? Is that really the right thing to do? I think it appeals to many people, maybe less and less so, but there's still enough people that are like, fuck, that is wrong. I can actually tangibly see why that's wrong. I think it's valuable, and I think that was a fucking interesting video. Thank you, Jesse. And all you buttheads watching. That's right, I said it, buttheads. All right. Please subscribe if you like, comment, agree, disagree, tell me what you think. Don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. All the charities or supporting other content creators, all links in the description box. And with all that said, give this video a thumbs down. Go give her a thumbs up, though. I'm a simp now, I can't. Give this video a thumbs down.